Okay, this is the Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit. This kit is on sale for $79, and this got a lot of fun stuff going on. It starts with our floral foam, high quality floral foam,
Right.
and a red Americana planter on a stand. They're like little wood feet that screw onto it. And then we are going to use a UV protected springerai fern bush, very full, the springerai, yep. And the bright spider plant, one of my personal favorites lately. We're gonna go in with 2 of the dark blue cornflower sprays and a vibrant red anemone bundle that Mom's got there. And then an American Beauty ribbon bolts that we're gonna tie into bows.
Exactly.
Optional add-on linked in the kit description is some sheet moss.
Okay.
If you would like
Sheet
to,
moss or green Spanish?
she put sheet moss.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
no, it says sheet moss, but it is the Spanish moss.
It should be Spanish
Yep,
moss.
it is Spanish
okay.
moss.
And it should be green Spanish moss.
Yes, it is green Spanish moss. I know, very specific, but gotta have that already. So, Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit, $79. Let's get
This
into
is
it.
the optional bag of moss that you can click on and add if you should need some. So the full block of foam is going to be almost completely used. We can actually lay it across the top of our pot. You can press your foam to see where the edge goes, and then as the pot tapers a little bit, you could actually get fancy and make a little tapered cut so that it will drop into your planter a little bit better. And that's a pretty good trick, to use most of your foam in its entirety right there. Not too hard. So if you're running to the back room for me, you're going to grab
Just a minute.
scissors,
need more stuff?
scissors as well.
Scissors, okay.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to get the flat lay uploaded quick.
Okay, so we're gonna add some glue to our foam. Although you can see when I put it in the planter, simply wedging it will stay. And it's an outdoor safe item because the planter is metal. Of course, if you were to leave it in the rain, I think that you would have water issues eventually in this pot with the potential of rust. You know, just don't want water standing in it. There we go. So we've got that one secured in there. And then before I put the moss on, I want to make sure I get some of these really chunky stem bushes into the planter first, because this one's a wide, thick stem, and if your moss is in the way, you kind of end up pressing the moss into the hole. So I do sometimes place some of my greenery first and then go back and moss it out. So yeah, thank you. So here's our 10-yard bolt of the fireworks ribbon, and I will show you how to tie these little easy ribbon loops. Okay, so then we also have another handy trick we're gonna need to do. This bunch of springerai is multiple stems dropped into this plastic cap on this bush. When the construction is this way, you can take your pliers, any kind of pliers, you can get a good grip on it, and you can pull each little stem section pretty firmly out of the plastic cap, ending up with longer stem segments. This is a pretty good pro trick. And when you do that, you're gonna have a lot longer length versus the little short ones that would happen if you just cut it off and you're literally pulling it out of the cap. So that's one way to ensure that you get longer sections of stems. This one can be pulled apart. It's a huge bush. It is a UV bush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 segments. And then we also cut the raffia bundle apart. These little anemones are a short bundle. I didn't cut them any shorter. I just clipped the stem wrap apart and it separates into multiple pieces. So these little guys just need to radiate around your design, and they have pretty good sized stem diameters also. So before we get that moss on, I'm gonna put in the anemones to make sure that those are placed the way I like. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Great. 7 means let's put one up in the center. And let's balance 6 around the outside. We're just not pressing them in too far. We want to let this look very big.
And this design, this kit, is meant to be indoor or outdoor. So we have some UV components, but this could be a fun step sitter or table centerpiece. I think would be really fun. And you could add a little weight to the design with some pea gravel, some rocks. If you wanted to put it outside, just note you want to maybe drill in a few drainage holes into the metal bucket.
Depends what you're putting in there for weight.
Yep.
And the weight would help it sit on your patio table without blowing off. It is pretty light at this point. Now we're going to take our chunk of moss and we're just going to pull it apart, tuck it around here. And also to note, this plant, the spider plant, comes absolutely stick straight, folded up. And you're going to want to get that shaped in a nice curve the way I have already done here for photography purposes. I'm also kind of tucking this around the edges a little bit to make sure it stays put. So as you're shaping the spider plant leaves, it's kind of like when you use your thumb to curl curling ribbon, you need to use your thumb to help curve these leaves by dragging your thumb across them. If you just give it a bend, it's going to look like it got bent. So you definitely want to give it a nice curved shape on many of these pieces just to soften up how it looks.
We do also have this planter in blue. So if you wanted to put it in a blue planter, that is available, and the link to that is in the kit's component description. So once you go to the kit, you'll see it's available in red or blue.
There we go. It's a fun little plant. Just needs to have some curves happening so that it doesn't all spike up like that. All right, then before we add our greens, I'm going to put both of these bachelor buttons in. They are full stems, just cut off. Don't need too much stem length. You can put one on each side, and I'm going to snug the stems right up into the center of the spider plant. Not further out, they're just literally tucked in right next to the plant itself. One on each side. And then you can shape these little stems to sort of fan out and get your color placed where you like it. There we go. Hopefully all these little tips and tricks are going to help you have a successful, easy design when you go to put it together. We'd love to hear how it went for you too. You can always post your design on the Magnolias VIP page and share it with everybody. So these little stem ends are nice and heavy gauge wire. You really don't need to glue anything. I glue automatically because our products are, of course, shipped and handled more than yours will be. So I kind of glue as I go. These are going to be you have several stems to move around your design. So pick where you want to place them, maybe in advance, or just jump in like I'm doing without pre-planning. I'm going to start with 4 in a quadrant here and then fill in. This is going to make it look real full for you.
That spider plant, I think, just brightens the whole thing up. The variegated with the nice bright white stripe down the center of the leaf. It's just so fun in porch pot designs. Anywhere where you can, hanging baskets is a great option for that piece as well. And this is all silk. These are all silk florals. You don't have to water these. You don't have to worry about them this summer. You can just set them out and enjoy their beauty anywhere in the house. We do designs from the front door to the back patio, that's for sure. And everywhere in between.
We do. And it's fun to show you how to do it too. Okay, so there we've used up all of our plant material. And now we can pick any couple of gaps that you might have and go crazy with our ribbon. We're gonna make some ribbon loops. Let me show you how to do that.
Do you want me to take that ribbon bolt out of inventory?
Well, I had open, but yeah, now we will.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could look.
That you want to show? Okay. So then this is a 4-loop and 2-tail
Yeah, just use that one.
wired ribbon. And the ribbon obviously has a front and a back. So I'm going to show you how to make these loops and these tails. And then this wire is the wire we sell in bundles. We didn't talk about our wire yet, but the wire is sold in bundles of 5 pieces. It's 22 gauge floral wire, kind of the most universal gauge, weight, thickness of wire that I use, and inexpensive little extra if you don't have a spot to grab and purchase wire, you can purchase from us. So that will give you some wire to design with. And then we're going to create these little loops here. I'm gonna make 3 sets. I've got 2 done. I'm gonna design another one. Okay.
It's a nice little color filler there.
And you're
Gives
gonna
it some
have
patriotic flair.
You're gonna have a full 10-yard bolt to play with here. So you won't need all the ribbon in your design, but you can sure help coordinate other things in your decorating as you go around the house and find another spot that might need a bow to coordinate. Let's get that tied. So we are basically starting with a tail. This is the easy way to tie a little multi-loop bow. We're starting with a tail of whatever length you like. That's going to be the piece I leave out. Then we're forming our first loop, and we have our ribbon, if you can tell, we have the back side face up. The whole trick to this bow tying is to give the ribbon a half turn flip, and by bringing your ribbon face up, you're set to make your next loop. So I usually graduate my loops, the first 2 being the same length. We make a half turn flip, and we start holding those twists right here between our thumb and index finger. And now we're stacking up our second loop set, or I'm sorry, our third loop set, and then number 4. And we finally end up with a second tail. So you'll have 2 tails, 4 loops, and you'll use about 1.5 yards doing that. Then you're gonna use your wire to go through that. You're gonna wire, of course, right through the center where you've been pinching your twists in that stack. And if you want to double up your wire by cutting off a chunk and then adding it back in, you'll make your wire a little heavier gauge. So you'll have actually 4 pieces stacked together instead of just 2. And when you use your pliers and twist that down, it's gonna make a sturdier self-pick for your ribbon to go in. And trim it to the same length. That way you have a nice little floral pick end. 4 loops, 2 tails. We can put them in 3 areas around the little pot for balance, and you can put 4 in if you wanted to.
And with this kit, you're getting the whole bolt of ribbon, so you can also make more of these little bows for other planters around your house, for your garlands, maybe for a wreath. You can make these simple bows and get the most out of your ribbon bolt.
Might as well.
Good morning, Elaine. We have a question from Elaine. She said, could you use the springerai stem and the spider plant in a real flower planter?
Why not? Who would know unless they went and touched it?
Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know, and we're not gonna tell if you want to do that. All right, so here we have the finished design, and that kit, by the way, I don't know if you're giving the prices as we go along.
Yeah, I'm just giving the totals there, and all of the components are linked in the kit description. So again, that was the Sparkler Outdoor Centerpiece Kit on sale for $79.
Okay.